Okay, so Henry Cavill put up this picture of himself working out, saying that he is well after his injury, but he still wants to be bigger than Green Lantern for the Justice League movie, basically. Which apparently means that the Green Lantern is going to be in the Justice League movie. So I wanted to take a bit of time to talk about who Green Lantern is and why he most definitely should not be in the Justice League movie. Um, you all remember we had this movie a couple of years ago from 2011 with Ryan Reynolds. That's right, 2 years after he played Deadpool the first time, he played Green Lantern. Now he hates Green Lantern and plays Deadpool again. That's all great. But there was actually a time where he was pretty enthusiastic about this whole Green Lantern project. If you look at the Green Lantern Secret Origins here, there is actually an introduction here by Ryan Reynolds where he says stuff like, I do not take this job lightly, stuff like that. So it is something he was very serious about, although it seems like he ended up not liking the result, which is of course sad. Now, for the movie, a lot of people complained about the animation, and I can see where that comes from, but I actually rather like the movie. There is a couple of problems with the movie. There is this whole thing that the first time he gets his mask on, he's told that the ring will put on his mask every time he needs to conceal his identity, and then throughout the movie, like 90% of the time he has it on, he doesn't need to conceal his identity because he's in a room with someone who already knows who he is. There's no real plot twist in it. It's very straightforward. He becomes the Green Lantern, then there's a bad guy, and he defeats that bad guy. It's a little bit too straightforward. And then there's this really strange scene in the movie where Sinestro has made the Guardians create a yellow ring for him, and the Green Lantern goes to see the Guardians to say, "Hey, I need help to save my world," and they're like, "No," and he's like, "Okay, but that yellow ring, you probably shouldn't use it because we can make things work without it. But I need help. Yeah, you're not getting help. Okay, I'll just do it by myself then." And then he's off again. It seems like a really misplaced scene, which is really sad. Then and but I think the basic problem that the movie has is that it uses too little imagination, and they stay too much on Earth, because basically what the Green Lantern is the possibility to go anywhere in the universe and create anything that you can imagine with the ring, and he doesn't do either of them. The closest thing he comes is making a crashing helicopter into a race car and creating a racetrack for it, which is all great and funny, but you could do so much more with it. And it's actually kind of the same thing with this book, because the movie is very much built upon this book. There's more in the film because they always do that, try to cram more stuff into the movies. But this book has that same problem. They stay on Earth too much, and I get that for an origin story. You want to say, okay, how does this normal guy become this superhero who flies around in space? But you can't spend too much time on Earth if you want to tell a story about someone who's in space. And that is actually what I want to say for the Justice League movie, and why I hope the Green Lantern is not in the Justice League movie, because he's not been introduced yet. I think they might want to do a new introduction to him, and if they do that, then he'll have to either be introduced and become the Green Lantern in the Justice League movie, which is probably not enough time to explain the idea, or he'll have to just be Hal Jordan and not get the ring yet, which I think is a very, very bad idea, because Hal Jordan is, and I think they're gonna do Hal Jordan. I know there's other Green Lanterns, but Hal Jordan is a loner. His father died. He hates everyone because he hates himself. So he just very much keeps to himself. So what would you put him in the narrative for if he's not the Green Lantern? And if he is already the Green Lantern, then you can't really do an origin movie afterwards. Well, I guess you could, just like they're doing with Wonder Woman, because she was introduced here, and now they're doing an introduction of what happened to her like 75 years ago. So that is, of course, an option, but then I would fear that the Green Lantern would just be something when everything goes to hell, as it has to do in a superhero movie like this. then it's just someone you haven't heard of that just swoops in and saves the day, which also seems strange, you know. Imagine having 1.5 hours with Batman trying to solve a problem, and then all of a sudden a magic guy comes in and solves it with magic. It's it's not gonna fly. So even though I would very much like to see a Justice League movie with Superman and with the Green Lantern and all these super powerful beings, I just don't think they're ready to make it yet. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. They might just make a completely awesome movie, and that would be great. I would love that. But, oh, I would hold off on the Green Lantern. Anyway, that's it for today.